Good day, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Star Trek Online. My name is Ubaglo, and with me once again is...
Necromaniac. Hello, Internet.
Good day. So, last time we did... we found
We
the...
saved Kaiopaka.
Yeah, we saved Kaiopaka and the other prisoners on that prison moon.
From their horrid life of eternal life.
Yeah. So now... we are going to take a trip back to the Gamma Quadrant to investigate how things are going over there.
We should be able to gather intelligence on them
In
while we
the
render
search.
aid to the Dominion forces in that sector.
Oddly enough, was I believe the
Founder
name
Odo
of
will be
the third
accompanying us
season
on his
premiere of Deep
flagship,
Space Nine, which first
along with
introduced
Captain
the...
Kira aboard the
Well, not
Starfleet
first
vessel
introduced because
Defiant.
Odo was one, but,
Counselor
first
Garrett
kind
will
of
be commanding a small
brought the
Cardassian
changelings to
fleet
the
as well.
forefront of the
We will
show.
meet them in the Dosi system. Our latest intelligence has discovered a Herc
I may feel
presence
dumb
there.
if that's not actually the
Join
case.
us there as soon as possible.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to make a note about that then.
Oh yeah, no, it totally was. Yeah,
Nice.
the third season 2-part premiere. It's also where they introduced the Defiant.
Oh, even better.
You've arrived.
I remember
Good.
it fondly.
We need to stop the Herc before they attack the Dosi homeworld. The Alliance has sent ships to assist. The Dosi recently joined the Dominion after many years of independence. Their aggressive fondness for commerce can be troublesome, but they
Honor the founders. Destroy the Herc.
Alright, so...
Victory is life.
This week, Cryptic announced that they're doing what may not necessarily be an expansion per se, but come the fall,
Something.
they are doing. They're going to be doing a named thing to coincide with the new season of Star Trek Discovery, which sounds kind of interesting because it sounds like their intent, and we'll see if they're able to make good on this, but it sounds like their intent is that they're going to have like something new in game basically with each new episode.
Yeah, it'd be a good tie-in.
Yeah.
And it makes sense given CBS is both in kind of behind a lot of stuff in this game, and also they're the ones putting out Discovery.
Yeah. It also might explain why Victory is Life has felt a little bit thin. Because, like, yeah, the Jem'Hadar stuff is pretty cool, and they added, like, basically the normal amount of new ships for an expansion release.
Yeah, but less new missions than...
But it was definitely
Either
much
well.
less new missions than any of the past expansions,
Take this
especially ones that
opportunity to
had
learn what you can about the
new
Herc.
factions.
As the
Because
Vorta are fond of
like
saying,
the
knowledge
Jem'Hadar,
is
you
power.
do their tutorial and
Any
then you're
tactical
thrust
intel
right
you
into the
gather
main
here
story.
will be of use to all who stand against the enemy. Consider this your
an
next
agency
test.
yesterday was
Victor,
not as big as Legacy of Romulus, because that was the first, 30 missions or something like
Yeah,
that?
Legacy of Romulus was pretty big.
Agency yesterday was still the first, 10, I think.
Yeah, it was still quite a few missions before you were thrust forward. And speaking of Agents of Yesterday,
They're going for
it
the
sounds
station.
like the big thrust of the Discovery. I'm just going to call it an expansion, but
Yeah, it's called Age of Discovery is the
Yeah.
exact title.
But honestly, I feel like
We should scan
it's
the
not
station
so
once
much
we're done
an
with
expansion. I feel like based on the time that they're expecting it to be released, it feels like it's
Like a
going
season?
to be. Yeah, it's going to be like season 15, effectively.
Yeah.
Or like if we were, I'd have to like get the names again, but there were a few seasons within like the last couple of expansions where they so I know you mentioned this before, but Kira is now labeled captain instead of Kai.
Yeah, she stepped down. And she's in command of the Defiant. But yeah, there were a few where it was like Star Trek Online Escalation, or
or like there were a couple during Agents of Yesterday Yeah, there were ones where
Yeah, the season was essentially given a subtitle.
yeah, and then like the next one would be going back to the numbering, so it'd be like here's season 12, here's season 12.5, here's Star Trek Online Escalation, and then here's season 13. Like I know that's not the actual progression, but that was like basically.
Is that really a good
That's
use
basically
of our
how
time?
it worked out.
The Karemans are very resourceful. They design a considerable number of weapons and defense systems for the Dominion. I'm confident they can deal with the Herc on their own. As for Quark, he's quite capable of getting himself
I like
into
Odo
trouble.
here. It's just like
Trouble, I might add,
Quark can deal
that
with
he had
himself.
no business getting
Yeah.
into in the first place.
So yeah, season 11 was subtitled A New
I
Dawn.
must say, Ambassador, I'm shocked.
Season
I
12
know
was
Quark's a gambler, but I
called
never realized
Reckoning.
you were as well.
Okay,
Actually, season 13 was Escalation.
And
okay,
Season 14 was Emergence.
all right.
is losing their tactical and technological resources.
Very well. Since I can see there's no talking you out of this, I'll accompany.
I know I've mentioned this before, but Odo's friggin' or not Odo, sorry, Garrick's friggin' facial animations are great. in this
Yeah,
game.
it is just like it's great that he animates so much,
It's-
but like it also looks really weird because they don't seem to animate him quite enough. But it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm definitely
Where did all
looking
these
forward.
ships
Like I feel that like they would need a lot of lead
here we
time
are,
prep
the Karema
in order
system.
to be able
Let's
to
address
like do
Garrick's
stuff
concerns,
weekly
find out
to
what
coincide
Quark
with
needs, and
an
deal
ongoing
with it.
show.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that could explain why like Victorious Life and the stuff since its release has been pretty light.
I only mention it because
Yeah, and also, I mean, they announced with this, the first new mission are going to be
I trust there's a reason
paired up with a
Your
cast member
presence is not
of...
required here.
Hey, it's
Explain
the
yourself.
bitch.
It's
But,
not our
uh,
intent to cause trouble, Founder. We followed a distress signal from our good friend Quark, and we
You're
going to
be paired up with Tilly from the show, voiced by her actress.
I am curious about your presence.
So, you know, usually they have a
Large
good amount of
number
lead time
Gemini
doing the
vessels accompanying
voice
you.
acting, too.
You see,
Yeah,
Odo
for sure.
knows that his
But, and I probably
fleet
mentioned this
is
at the
only
time,
one
there was a
left to
tweet
defend
from...
Dominion.
As are we.
what's his name?
Karema is part of the Dominion. We are here to... Odo commands an expeditionary fleet. It is his to use in
have
a
to actually
mission
look
to
at his
seek
name.
and destroy the Herc as he sees fit. My fleet...
If you don't mind, we would still like to enter Karemin space and assist our...
I will take responsibility
Actor.
for their actions in
I don't
Karemin.
need the
You're
character
quite
name, the actor.
persistent, aren't you?
Anthony Rapp,
Very
who
well.
plays basically the
In
chief
spirit of our
engineer in
new
Discovery.
contact with the Alliance, I will allow you to proceed.
It seems
There
we're
was a
not
tweet
getting
about
the
him,
whole
like,
story.
wanting to be in a video game, and the
No,
STO
business as usual.
social media account replied with something like, you know, we'll be in touch.
Nice.
Which, you know, if I actually, I like, he's a great actor. He was in Rent, among, you know, dozens of other things. So I kind of hope that he does end up in the game, because he's, of the bit of Discovery I watched, he was essentially my favorite character because he's a gigantic asshole. like you've seen Stargate Atlantis, right?
A fair amount of it.
A bit. You know Rodney McKay, the Canadian doctor,
Okay,
or the
yeah.
Canadian scientist.
Yeah.
Basically, kind of similar. different character arc, but like his starting like outlook on everything is kind of similar. That, you know, I'm a genius, screw you all. But yeah, of the like. That's the weird thing about that show is that show only has like of the main bridge crew that I encountered, only like 5 people. Because it's a very weirdly structured Star Trek show, because it focuses entirely on the on one character,
Huh. That is interesting.
or not one character, but the it's not like other Trek shows where
It's an ensemble
it
cast.
kind of focuses on the captain, but yeah, it's an ensemble cast. Discovery is very much about Michael Burnham, who, at the start of the show is an XO on a starship, captained by Michelle Yeoh, who's incredible. Spoiler, she's not in the show past a few episodes. As cool as it would be because it's freaking Michelle Yeoh. But like when she gets onto Discovery, she is not technically speaking a member of the crew. So it's a very weird structured show. Very much more lower decks than all the other shows essentially.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I need to. I honestly just stopped watching because I was, paying $6 a month to watch one show is kind of a dumb idea.
Yeah,
But now that the entire season's out, I could probably pay $6 marathon a month and that'd be
My
good.
senses are showing a broad
I
band of interference
know
in
it's
this area.
on
It's jamming
my
the
Netflix,
standard
so
Karen hailing frequencies.
I've been meaning to
Might
get
I
around to
suggest
watching it, and I just
there are
haven't.
new, more secure frequencies?
Yeah,
Hello, can you hear me?
I know it's fairly decisive too. Divisive. Sorry.
That's what I've been hearing as well.
Being overrun by the Herc. We tried to evacuate, but the Jem'Hadar fleet opened fire on.
Combat is notoriously chaotic. I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation for that.
I wonder. Ah, yes. We should try to find
It
Quark's.
seems that there's a little
It's
bit
quite
more than
possible
meets the
he's
eye
the
that's
only
going on here.
Ferengi on the
There
planet.
could be robots in disguise about.
Oh no!
They are. I want to make sure I didn't dream this up. I think they are doing a Transformers Star Trek comic.
I am positive that there was one in the past.
Sorta. It was part of the that.
Yeah, there was one that's part of the weird IDW crossover.
Yeah, this is a more direct one.
We need
Oh,
to get
yeah, okay, that's what it was. It's more awesome than I thought. It is specifically G1 Transformers, like the 80s cartoon, paired with Star Trek the Animated Series.
Oh, that's good.
Uh-huh.
That's good. Oh my goodness, I gotta look into that.
Yeah, and it's from IDW, so
Yeah, of course.
We're about as
Oh
close
Yeah.
god,
to
that's
Quark's
good.
known location
I know.
as we can get.
Honestly, the only way that would be better is if it was linked up with the
Let's try to find
the Star Trek manga, which
that would be fun too.
I need
But-
to pick up more of those because those stories are legitimately good.
How convenient.
Providing yet another origin of the Borg Queen in addition to 3 that already exist in other books.
Yeah, and honestly,
Spoilers, I think it involves Kirk giving someone an STD.
No, not exactly. So
Okay.
in
Scatters my
the Star Trek manga, yes, they do have a story which is the origin of the Borg, and that one is weird because it's basically this hyper advanced race from another galaxy teleports the Enterprise to them because their princess is really badly sick and they don't have the technology to heal her. So what? And I don't exactly remember the whole thing. I don't think that the Enterprise crew gives her cybernetics. I think that she had them already from prior treatment attempts. But they do something that basically turns her into the Borg Queen, and then they just kind of get sent back because the race thinks that they helped.
And then the Borg.
And then that short story basically ends with a picture of the royal family member as the Borg Queen. I should find my copy of that book and reread it because there's some good
That's-
stories in there.
Yeah. But yeah, I remembered they were doing something pairing Star Trek the Animated Series. I just couldn't remember what it was. But the fact it's G1 Transform, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm down with that.
That's pretty good.
Well,
That was it. I was gonna get eaten.
they've done other similar things. Like
I think I
it
saw
was this is
my
obviously
brother
crossover with
someplace
DC,
people
but they
ripped her into a vault.
paired. Oh, what was it?
The Star Trek Green Lantern series is
That one
the
was
first one is
good.
pretty good. Apparently, the second one is bad.
No, this was. It was. I want to say it was Batman the Animated Series paired with
The outer world is still a mess.
one of the versions of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just forget which one.
Yeah.
I don't think it was the '80s one. It might have been the like 2003 one.
Yeah, it might have been. I don't remember. It's not a like greatly distinctive TMNT design.
Yeah.
So it's one. Yeah. So it would be.
Yeah, 'cause
it
the-
might have been the TMNT, the movie called TMNT.
Maybe.
It may
Yeah, I
have
just
been
know
that.
it was a specific version of TMNT, not
Am I
the
glad to see you?
comics.
Sure, that'd be Quark there.
Which I'm gonna.
Only for
While you're talking to this guy, I'm gonna look that up.
He's in a secure vault, not far from.
But some of IDW's crossover work is very good.
The other dimension.
Yeah.
And some of them are like they're
On our own.
okay.
The
Because
door's
like
right there. I'll stay
they're
here while you
like
save
regular
everyone.
event crossover stories are actually like not that great because they're not really crossovers per se. I haven't seen if they've done one in a while. I think the last one that they did that I was aware of was actually pretty good at being a crossover because
Yeah.
it was the one that was setting up their new like Hasbroverse stuff.
Oh, was it Infiltration?
Revolution.
Revolution, right?
Yeah, like that one was pretty good because like the whole point of it was to set up that like all of the individual comics that they were going to get,
Yeah, like
or that
Mask
they
and
already
G.I.
had
Joe
from
and
the old Hasbro properties were now going to be
ROM.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're now going to be this this new combined
which I am
thing.
expecting them to do with movies in the next couple of years. Given that they basically all but said the Michael Bay Transformers movies are done. They'll be rebooting it in some fashion, whether it's spinning out of this Bumblebee movie coming up later in the year or something else. Basically, remains to be determined by whether or not the Bumblebee movie does well. Which, fair point. As someone who, put mildly, fucking despises Michael Bay's Transformers movies, this new Bumblebee movie looks good to me. So sadly, apparently, I'm not totally sure, but I think all those books that spun out of that IDW crossover have ended aside from ROM.
Huh. That doesn't
And
surprise me. Like
maybe-
there was one that I know ended like literally
ended.
immediately as soon as the crossover ended. Like
Yeah.
its solo book existed entirely to set up that character for his crossover story, and like
Oh,
they
Action
didn't-
Man.
Yeah, Action Man ended immediately.
Yeah.
And they didn't even finish the story that they had in that book before they
'Cause-
carried on. I'm hoping that they carry that forward
And I'm not
into
about to back
his
out on it,
crossover book.
especially since you're all
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was a book called
Well, armed.
Revolutionaries, which was pairing was it Action Man,
doors open.
some GI Joe character, I think, Cup, and another.
Wasn't it Marissa?
Maybe it was
No.
Marissa. Yeah. No.
No, it wouldn't have been her because if she was going to be with any Transformer, it would be Thundercracker.
Thundercracker. I know there was an annual later on with her and Thundercracker again.
And Thundercracker was in a different, was in one of those crossovers.
He just randomly. Yeah, he had in the crossover he had his own issue, which was I think my single favorite issue in that crossover, which is essentially
in the crossover event. Yeah, he had.
Yeah,
I don't know if he had the best one, but he had a very good one. But here's the thing.
Him
here's the
or
thing.
the
I
other.
don't, yeah, I don't know whether his book or whether the book with the Junkers, the Junker Transformers,
the
Scavengers was better because
the Scavengers TM.
Because
both were good.
The Scavengers one was like straight up a commentary on crossovers, and it was great.
Yeah.
It was
the
so
Scavengers
good.
One was that was the More Than Meets the Eye tie-in, technically.
Yes. Yeah,
the actual main cast of More Than Meets the Eye was not involved in this crossover at all.
Yeah,
because that's the book that happens in space.
Yeah, they were somewhere else, unable to attend.
Yeah. But and then the Thundercracker one was just the main Transformers.
Yeah, it was the
tie-in.
Mm-hmm. Because all of those characters were also unable to attend.
Well, because the actual main Transformers of that book were essentially kind of the main characters of the tie-in, or of the whole crossover event itself. So, the Thundercracker one was essentially White House Down, except with Thundercracker, Marissa Fairborn, who's I think government agent, and a dog.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so good.
It was amazing.
It was so dumb.
Yeah.
It's good to see you too, Quark.
But
I see your mission was a successful
More Than Meets the Eye one was great because it was basically
it was a meta commentary.
Yeah, it was a meta commentary on crossovers because the Scavengers they showed up on Earth. No, they ended up on Earth to meet with one of their members' internet friend.
Online dating.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, it was so good.
This narrows things down.
Which, for reference, the Scavengers in the context of this comic are a bunch of old Decepticons who ditched the war and just kind of run around the universe having misadventures.
Yeah.
And they essentially have a Grimlock who's stuck in dinosaur mode the whole time because stuff happened as a pet. Or a buddy, rather, because he's not they constantly have to try to keep him from killing them.
Yeah.
We're saved. Thank you. And as for you, Garrick, you and I need to have
I basically stopped following IDW around then. I really need to catch up on the main Transformers books because I don't know if I really need to catch up on the main Transformer book because that one is
well, the main one kind of ended and got renamed to Optimus Prime.
Yeah. It's just that there's a lot of baggage left over from basically a book that they wrote 5 years ago that I super didn't like.
Yeah,
and that's hung over that entire franchise for them ever since.
Yeah, it's now I need to catch up because they're straight up doing a final crossover event that is going to end that universe.
Yeah, it's just
they're ending it.
The thing though is that what they've done with the side book More Than Meets the Eye is literally the best things I've seen out of Transformers in my life.
That's probably because it is some of the best stuff.
It's such a weird duality that the current IDW line is some of the worst and also some of the best Transformers.
It's not some of the worst.
It's not some of the worst.
No.
So, I'm going to give you
Bay movies aside.
I'm going to give you that some of these shows are individually very bad, but the thing is that all the stuff.
Are you talking about the old All Hail Megatron stuff?
Yeah.
Where they okay, yeah, that was pretty bad.
Because it's not that it's not that the main IDW stuff is poor quality, which is a problem of a lot of other Transformer stuff.
It's a tone that you don't.
It is a tone that is actively oppressive to me, and I
also
straight
don't
up
like
hate.
either. The early stuff.
Yeah, it's because it's obviously there are people who are opposed to the tone of the Michael Bay stuff because it's a lot more militaristic, but the the results of All Hail Megatron, which is like hung over the main Transformers book, is not only more militaristic, but it's also just straight up more depressing.
Yeah, because it basically plays it too real, where like the results of the Autobots and Decepticons fighting on Earth result in the deaths of like millions of people. So everyone on Earth hates Transformers.
Like, not just everyone on Earth as well, but as you sort of see with the Morden Meets the Eye crew as they fly around, like, everyone hates Transformers. Because they just don't...
They're essentially a race that had a
multiple million year civil war that spilled out over everyone. Yeah. And not just like the crew of More Than Meets the Eye runs into another race which is similar, but like they didn't let their fighting affect other people as much. So other races in the galaxy are at least cool with those people being around. Mm-hmm. But like, people hate Cybertronians all across the entire galaxy, and I'm not saying it's undeserved, but like that as a underlying story for everything is just very like oppressive and hard for me to like really really deal with.
That was basically the setting off point of that shared universe thing. Was that event was about. Like, hey, Transformers are on Earth again, because the first couple of years of that whole, they call it the second chapter of IDW Transformers, was mostly set between Cybertron and space. Mm-hmm. So when they started going back to Earth,
I'm sure I have no idea.
Stuff happened, and like that's when essentially like the government reactivated G.I. Joe, who. In that timeline, also, there was something where Cobra managed to nuke something and kill millions of people, so that's another kind of depressing thing.
IDW's whole writing on G.I. Joe for so long was worse. Like it was so oppressive, and I hated it.
It was so that's a thing where it fit the tone of the old the Marvel comics. But which is a completely different tone than the '80s cartoon.
I guess.
And then when they,
it's just like
that doesn't mean that Odo.
Like it's.
And the thing is, after that event, when they launched the new G.I. Joe book, it had the tone of more in line with the '80s cartoon.
Yeah, like that's what I want my G.I. Joe to be, and I kind of want my Transformers to be more on the lighter side. Also, there is a major plot point in More Than Meets the Eye, which is literally the best characterization I've seen of a almost any character, let alone this character. And I'm not necessarily sure I want to talk about it here because it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
You put my entire planet at risk.
Also, we're missing really important plot stuff.
Yeah. Also, the facial animations on this scene are so good.
Mm-hmm.
Continue, Odo. You were saying?
I did what I needed to do to bring the Alliance into the war.
So
I lied. Risked the lives of millions to save billions more. But
I love this reveal.
Staged Herc attack. The other founders are hiding things from me. If I challenge them now, I'll have no chance to find out what. So, for now, I have to play the part.
Well, you're doing a great job of that, Odo. Or should I say founder?
Trust me when I say I understand your position. The captain.
Because Garrick knows what Cisco did.
I have a strong lead.
Garrick helped Cisco do what Cisco did, and this is essentially the exact same thing.
It seems you are a gambler, Odo, and a high stakes.
God, this cutscene is the best character modeling and animation Cryptic has ever done, and it works so good.
Yeah.
This was
the
founders have put useful allies at risk here.
This was a good
While the
mission.
Be punished for their rebellion,
even though we were talking about Transformers during most of it.
Yeah. That's okay though.
Yeah.
It is not our place
I mean, talking about Transformers makes everything better.
We follow them because they have given us.
I mean, hey, you can say that the Michael Bay movies are bad, but like I really like their Jetfire, and like that is actually one of my favorite Transformers.
So Jetfire was fun up until Optimus. He basically killed himself so that Optimus could wear his corpse as armor.
So I like that, except to the point where then that armor doesn't show up ever again.
Nope, because Optimus just discards him.
Yeah,
Right.
like
Revelation.
like that version of Optimus is actually really cool as well, but then it
So
just
that version of Optimus is like a villain.
I mean, also yes,
Or at least crazy.
I meant with the armor, but yes.
Oh, design-wise, yeah.
It is a message from
That's mean, like in the fourth movie, he straight up murders Kelsey Grammer.
Thank you for your service.
Which, admittedly, Kelsey Grammer's a villain, but he just like it's not even like accidentally. He just straight up points his Transformer-side gun at a human and just shoots him.
Jeez.
To save Marky Mark, but still. And I haven't even seen the last one.
Yeah, I've seen up to 3.
But you should remember your place.
4 is less bad than 3.
Yeah, I have 4 on a shelf next to me, and I'm going to eventually get around to it.
No, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's less bad than 3.
I know, and like. So here's the thing. Broadly speaking, I actually kind of like the first 3 movies. The third one has a serious issue, though, where it's like half of it is utterly unnecessary, and the other half of it is an incredible action movie.
And he may well be our best hope in
and that, like, it's like 3 hours long, and an hour and a half of it is just.
I do not believe his intentions are always in the Dominion's best interest.
It's just like the kid angsting over not being useful, and then the back hour and a half of it is the Transformers having an a super awesome action movie set piece that just doesn't stop. It's so good.
Remember,
it's
congratulations on first.
I wish that movie was better.
Yeah,
I wish that movie was better.
Yeah.
Founder Odo has something of interest. There is much.
So
hey, that was actually a pretty neat mission, and
that was the pivot point where it's like. I will say this much: there's only 7 missions. Let me see. I think 8 now.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total, including
7?
the new one.
So there's 7 total. They do a lot with those 7 missions. Like I mean, literally, this last mission kind of just tilted the entire context of the Herc and what they're doing.
Yeah, like I have seen references to the deal with the Herc when it comes to the featured episode, the last one, Home, which we'll get to in a few videos.
I have actually still not done that one. I've done all the others, but not Home yet.
So, like, I've seen, like, when they've talked about the rewards for it, they've made references to, like, the story stuff that happens with the Herc, and that sounds incredible. So
also, Quark's Lucky 7 is the best mission in the game ever.
Well, that is 2 missions ahead of us, so
yes,
we are going to have to make sure we don't have such a big gap between our next recordings.
Yeah, I know. I'll try to have less of a social life.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
I'm not. I'm just kidding. I'm not. No. I'm not gonna have less of a social life.
Yeah. Like, I know stuff with you has been busy, so we're doing stuff when it's available, when we can. Yeah. So anyway, that's been us for this week, and
Yay.
our nice. Hopefully you found our Transformers talk interesting.
Otherwise, just be like, you guys should just do a Transformers podcast or something, even though there's 12 out there.
Yeah. Every now and then I think about the weird tangents that we get into and think maybe we should just do something where we just do that for a while, and then I realize, yeah, but I don't need to do something separate. I have 2 Let's Plays for that. We just need to do things more frequently, that's all.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so that'll be it for us for this week. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye, everybody.